the wall on Nature Unveiling. In this one, we're going to be looking at tree stumps in the terms of, sometimes they have holes in them, sometimes they don't, but it's kind of a big thing, you know what I mean? It's like we always see, dead tree stumps, generally they do have holes in them and stuff like I said, not always, but in reference to what we're going to be looking at and stuff. So this is another small standard tree stump, what we used to, another hole in it. I've got a petrified one, it's got an hole again, and it's just a small one. So we've got examples of that, and we've seen plenty of stumps that haven't got holes in it and stuff. This is Kilimanjaro, a dormant volcano. So, look at the size of it, it's massive, like all the distance and stuff. I can't help thinking about like curvature tests and stuff like, because it kind of really does contradict that kind of side of things. Look at size of it, like all distance in land and stuff, and you got that little pile there, kind of thing. It just looks like an ash remain pile kind of thing, like overgrown. From above, you can see a hole in it and stuff. I call it like a double crater. It's got like a crater, and then it's up a crater. See, there's like one there. There's one there as well. You got that one, obviously. I think that's one as well, but there's quite a lot of little ones and stuff like, but it's barely recognisable in a way and stuff. Again, for curvature test, like how flat it is, it's like all that. It's pretty much perfectly flat, and then you got this raised area kind of thing. But it is good for a curvature test and stuff. That one down there as well. You see the shape of it, kind of thing. Show one more. That could be like lava where it came out and stuff like. Again, just for the size of it. $19,000 19,341 feet tall it is. And it's crater there. There's quite a few pictures of this, but we'll get to the end of it. That's what do we call that now? Mauna Kea, and that one it's the tallest mountain in the world, but not the highest. The base of it starts in ocean, so including the base, it's like 30,000 feet, which makes it like the tallest. Like Everest is 29,000 feet. But from the sea level, like there's 18,000 feet, which is below sea level for it, and it's got 13,800 feet above that. So at 13,000 feet, it's not as tall as Kilimanjaro, and Everest is taller than that again at 29,000 feet, which is the tallest or highest either. Mauna Kea is the tallest as such from base to top, but and in reference, Devil's Tower is 867 feet, which is like tiny compared and stuff like. But I say again, this is volcanic more than else. You know what I mean? It's like I think it's built up over so much time and stuff. It's from a distance. That's Everest. Oh, it's difficult to get you can't get a shot further away in a sense to get a decent picture. So then we've got craters. We've got, say that we're a volcano and it is, well, really, you know what I mean, all volcanoes were trees really and stuff, and mountains, provided you got your quartz in there and stuff, you can tell, can't you? And I just think it confirms that lava is the hot sap and stuff, and like it's still hot from being trapped underground and that. So really, I'm seeing a burnt out tree, you know, that another tree, or what, it just a spurt of lava that came out whilst it were all burning down and stuff. Because that's highly possible, either way, really. You see all the debris coming down and all that kind of stuff. It kind of hides what it were in a way and stuff like. But I think this one's supposed to be an impact crater, but this is one of the problems with the impact craters I've noticed. There's not a depression. The land is raised up. I mean, okay, up to there, but if you mark where the height of that land is, it comes out to about there kind of thing, and then you've still got all this climb like down there kind of thing, like, so it's, do you get what I mean? It's like higher than the ground around it. You know what I mean? It's more like a pile of ground is added. I'll show you the next picture. Oh, that's a volcanic. It just looks like it's like spurted out like that. I mean, it could have been just burnt out and then that's what ash remains and stuff like. But I'd favour that more as a volcanic aspect. You see, it's like similar to that. So it's like the lava could have spilled out there and kind of created that. Again, it could have been a tree. It could have been another stump coming out of a main tree kind of thing. Got another one here. I can't remember what it said, whether it were impact or not. I think this were an impact. But again, it looks like you got more ground than ground missing. You know what I mean? And it's flat, implying like the thick layers of ash which have settled over years have kind of created a flat surface kind of thing. Obviously, rain and might have laked up for a while or whatever and stuff, and then earthquakes, everything shakes out and smooths everything across and stuff. And I would say that ground looks a bit lower than the external. But it still doesn't mean that that's not possible for it to be a tree, a burnt out tree kind of thing. You see, like this one, this is an impact crater. See, like the surrounding land, this is higher than the surrounding land. In fact, the entire crater area has more land there than anywhere else. Look how flat it is in distance, and then it raises up to this. So it's not like there's a land missing from area as such. It's like there's more land, like I say, like a deposit of debris just left there kind of thing. So the idea of it being an impact crater, it falls out kind of thing. That's supposed to be volcanic. I think that was supposed to be an impact. It could easily just have been either way kind of thing. That one looks like volcanic again. See, like with volcanic, I mean like like the main tree has burnt out, and then all the lava tubes Other lava's followed the root lines and burnt them out, and tried to find a path whichever's easiest for it. You know what I mean? It might have ended up going in ocean, or whichever direction the root path were easier for it to take, kind of thing. So in some cases, it might have come up quite close and spurted out outside, and created a mountain in that kind of sense, or a small hill, created hill kind of thing. But I think this is burnt out, and that might have been the hollow part of a tree anyway. Some trees could be hollow in terms of like it might have had a stronger structure if it were hollow, with less weight and stuff like. So again, it could have been hollow, and the rest of it's burnt, and then it's all been buried. But you've got all this raised land rather than a depression. Obviously, you've got a depression in the raised land, but is the depression the right word? More like burnt out kind of thing. Again, I think that was supposed to be volcanic. I'm not sure. These are supposed to be impact craters, but again, look at the shape of it. You can have a tree trunk that shape, but like you do a cross section kind of thing, from aerial view. It could have burnt out, and the burnt out area is lower than the surrounding area, and so hence the lake kind of thing. Again, it's another one, but for an impact crater, it's a really weird shape, and that's supposed to be officially impact crater. Another one, look how raised the land is. Again, actually, I mix this folder up between impact craters and volcanic craters. This is impact crater, sorry. But again, it's not a depression in the central area. It's like, well, the asteroid weren't like a potato rock which was coming down to Earth. It was a ring which happened to hit Earth, like side on, like, you know what I mean, bang on, square on kind of thing, for its ring shape to hit the Earth. It doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? There's no logic behind it. If it were a tree which grew hollow, potentially, you know what I mean? That's where it's all burnt away. I mean, be impact created, it doesn't really make sense. That's another one. You could say it will burn out. This is another one. And an example of like that land there is higher than the surrounding area. You see it raises up. It's a bit of a 3D effect on that lens on camera. But there's more land there than what you'd call a depression. You know what I mean? Even that looks higher than the surrounding land. They shouldn't even bother saying these were impact craters. I mean, that small, you could just assume that they were lakes. You know what I mean? So I'd say it's more likely a burnt out tree. I mean, it's just the same as the volcanoes we see. You know what I mean? But it's just more that's burnt out. Like that, you know what I mean? If that carried on burning out and the rest of the tree kind of burnt off, then you might have less, it might just look like that, but bigger. So then, actually, a couple of underwater things. We've got some coral. If it's coral, it could potentially be some sort of tree, some kind of flora anyway. But anyway, this is off the coast of Japan. You've got like underwater temples and all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm thinking that this were wood, and then they're carved out of the wood. So otherwise, carving out a rock sounds really difficult. But if we're so much, if the world was made of tree, then then that is more plausible. Um, this is underwater. Sorry, more of the columns that we see, like Devil's Tower and Giant Causeway, um, showing you, there's more to it in that kind of sense. More coral, if it's coral. It does look like coral, really, in ways and stuff like. It's different to other coral though, but I don't know. Never mind about coral anyway. Looking at shape of it and stuff. Another temple. So, whilst the trees were alive, they were using a lot of water. We've got hundreds of thousands of these trees, these giant trees and stuff like that, and these network systems for all these mountains that used to be living trees. The amount of water that I would have used, then this might have been, the sea level will have been lower than this, obviously, this part of land and stuff. But the land can shift, the trees are dead now, so like all the earthquakes of the trees resettling as they break apart underground and that lot. And so, the potential for the land moving and sliding to a certain degree and stuff like. But I still think this war. Um, um, Well, I don't think it moved far from its location if it has moved. Um, and the sea level, it will have been a lot lower. So, say if it's in the same place of where it were and stuff like, and obviously the sea level were kind of lower than this at the time. So when we look at this, see, this is a 3D imaging off the coast of Australia, I think it was. Yeah, north of Australia. And you got these underground. Now, they've taken the 3D imaging and made the assumption that this is coral. It looks very similar to the giant trees. So, potentially a hole in it. I don't know if it's a shadow of a red thing. It looks more like a hole at this angle, but some other angles, when you got, I don't know, some other pictures, it's difficult to tell. But like giant trees which are under ocean and stuff. Because if the sea level, that's where the sea level is now, where the orange line meets the grey kind of thing. The sea level might have been there at this cliff edge, kind of thing. You know, So if this were the land, then this is where the trees were growing, and it kind of makes sense. And look at the size of that one in background, how wide that is. You know what I mean? And again, like, see the lines, like Devil's Tower in a sense. So this is how big they are. Empire State Building is 1,240 feet, and that one was 1,640. Comparing to Devil's Tower, which was like 867 feet. So this is a lot bigger. You know what I mean? It's like, wow. So that's like scaling it next to building kind of thing, of what they did and stuff. But I don't know if we've got proof of this coral. It's like, have they actually been down there to actually investigate it? You know what I mean? Is it only a 3D imaging that we've got, and we're basing the information of the facts on, like, assuming what it is kind of thing? Again, comparison with sizes and stuff. Seat lines. It looks like a tree. Yeah, that's the one that's a bit different. And sometimes you get, I can imagine lava making that shape in a sense and stuff. If we're lava, a tunnel underneath and it just found access or whatever, then and you got that one as well. So from above, I mean, you can't tell if it looks like shadowed, doesn't it? But still, kind of thing. Like, so that's got some shape to it as well. It's not like what I'd expect for a coral kind of thing. That's in meters. I think that one could have been a detached reef, whereas the other two look more of a flat topped. So, you know, I mean, they're looking more like a. Hang on, I'm checking. So yeah, what we've got is, well, actually, vertical scale at Northeast Canyons and Seamounts, Marine National Monument. Oceanographer Canyon bottoms out at 8,200 feet below the waterline. Where have you got Bear Seamount, which rises 7,000 feet from the depths of a seafloor. And what were it? 1,640 feet for that one. It's other one 7,000 feet. It's like, you know, I mean, that completely dwarfs that. And what were Devil's Tower? 867 feet. So when you're comparing that with that, and look at the shape of it, it looks like your typical petrified tree kind of thing. You know, curious. There's another 3D imaging, another flat top mountain. Curiously like a tree. Again, the ocean floor kind of thing, like. You see all the debris from the land and stuff like that kind of thing. Obviously the debris around this as well. All this is debris basically, you know. So this is that one, 2,000 meters from the surrounding ocean floor with a depth of 1,100 meters. Again, flat topped, as it's described, it looks like another tree. Gifford Goyet, however you pronounce it. "16 kilometers on range." So, you know, just for gauging its size kind of thing, and how flat it is. So I just, there's more, you know what I mean? Are these following a lava tunnel, or are they actually trees growing independently kind of thing? Or used to be. It's showing like there's loads. You know what I mean? You got, look how many. It's like a, you know, a forest kind of thing. Garwell Ridge. Got more. Oh, the same one, that left one. Flat topped again. More than 3 kilometers high. Another one. Look how tree-like that one looks. You got the sides, and the centre looks like a tree as well. And like I said, we don't always have a hole, you know. Um, you got like this river on the floor as well. Obviously, it's underwater, but like I said, is this where the sea level was? You know, where that river is. You can see where the water used to be, but now it's kind of complete. It's all submerged. So, Alaska, Japan. Again, there could be lava tubes which have filtered up stuff like that kind of thing. Like, but just as easily there could be trees. You know, it really needs to be investigated and stuff like. Um, but it's an interesting landscape when you're looking at it like that. Like I said, that could be you know, that could have been dry land, and you'd have like a river going through there. It's quite a deep canyon, isn't it? Is it even the sides? Japan kind of thing. Great Barrier Reef. What did it say now? Wreck Island. It says it in bottom there. So you got that little bit which comes to the surface and stuff. But the rest of it, it looks like a tree stump. Only 20 meters deep, but um, obviously it's assumed to be coral. Um, but any tree stump in that area, it'd get covered in coral, and it'd hide what it actually is. It's like if you dug under that coral and actually you found rock under there, then you know what I mean. Then you know that you're dealing with the remainders of a tree kind of thing. Although this is a Giant's Causeway from above. See the Giant's Causeway just next there. But it's just off Australia anyway. So yeah, you get all your what's it called, your coral developing and growing and all that kind of stuff, and it makes these patterns and stuff like. So V is still, you know, it's not like I'm a coral denier out. um, Everest 29,000 feet. Matterhorn at 14,692. Burj Khalifa 2,472 feet. But the deepest part of the ocean is 36,069 plus 151. I don't know what that's about, um, but yeah, that's like 7,000 feet deeper than our highest mountain. You know, just in reference and stuff. Um, I'm kind of surprised we can't find deeper and stuff like, but yeah, we're quite chuffed about these. But then, you know, it turns out they're smaller than a lot of the other ones I've found. Um, no, I almost forgot about this then. I'm going to show you. These are, I've looked up on Google, like impact craters. So you can see there's more uh, land there than there would be for a real impact crater. And like the amount of land which would have gone missing. Like that's it, isn't it? Arizona. That's quite a good example in terms of amount of land missing. You know what I mean? There's not much debris on the outside and stuff like that. But it could still easily be that it were just a burnt out tree. I mean, with a climate there, it's really hot anyway, so it would have been easy for fire to carry on burning. You know, some climates where it rains more, it's not as like don't evaporate the same and all that kind of stuff in some countries and stuff. Whereas there, it's going to be really hot and everything's going to dry out and all that kind of stuff. So it's easier for it to burn out. Whereas like I don't know, most remarkable impact craters on Earth. Um, and look at them, right? You got these little tiny ponds. It's like, really, right? Like an asteroid coming through, however fast through space. I mean, it's going to make a great impact. Yeah, it's not going to leave a tiny little thing like that. I mean, it doesn't make sense. I mean, look at that. I know, but not as small as such kind of thing, like, but I think they can't find volcanic evidence, and so like basically the lab has found an access a different way rather than being forced to boil up and pressure and come back out this way. Um, and the rest of it's just petrified rock, burnt away, petrified tree, sorry. Um, Same for them all, you know, burnt away. Uh, Not asteroids, though. See raised ground, but you can't see the ground level underwater. It doesn't have to be level, you know what I mean? But impact crater, but it's just a ring rather than something in the centre. You know what I mean? But for the most part, it's like raised land. There's more land there than there should be. It was like Arizona, they show that one like loads. You're trying to like flick through and find something which you need. You got like moon ones and Mars ones and all that kind of thing. It's like raised land in there kind of thing. Like, obviously, if something come down, it'd push the land out and it'd make it all bulge up or whatever and stuff. But so little of them which kind of do it like that in a kind of sense. So it's like there's just looks more land there than there were before. See, look at that one. You could say for the small ones, that could have been from a seed dropped from really high. You know what I mean? And then it's like, it's come down with such force that it's made a crater kind of thing. Potentially. I mean, it's still potentially a tree as well, burnt out or whatever and stuff.